When Nevanda died, Parliament, I think legitimately, asked Dr. Baryomusi, Dr. Kyakoze, I think Lyomoki and Dombo and others to be part of a team investigating her death. Museveni was upset that Baryomusi was one of those who were talking, I don't want to use maybe carelessly. And Museveni asked Baryomusi, are you a pathologist? Are you a pathologist? The case of Besigye is a political case.
He was intercepted at the airport in briefcase carrying.
No, that was Ozivo. That was Ozivo.
There was intercepted.
But they were on the same charge sheet.
I was A1. Dr. Ziva was A2.
Yes.
You see, the sensitivity of Besigye's case, and that's why I think for now over a year, Museveni has spoken about Besigye, I think either 2 times or 3 times. The gentleman here, the good doctor, speaks for government. But he conducts himself now as if he's a spokesperson of Besigye's imprisonment, that he has a duty to be the one to speak about it. And this is the first time in my adult life seeing someone eager to discuss someone's health, because health is a very sensitive but also a private matter. And that's why the prison that are keeping Besigye, you have not seen them speak the way Baryomusi is speaking. In fact, he speaks as if he has a personal problem with Besigye. Like many NRM people, you see, if you speak against Besigye, it can even earn you a promotion. Because I don't know anyone Museveni hates in this country like Besigye. Maybe now you will be 4th Deputy Prime Minister when Museveni assembles the cabinet. I have not seen...
Vice President. That's not the highest.
I don't think you are at a level where they will put you at the highest. You are still there. So you will need to speak about Besigye maybe daily, give a brief 2 times. So the issue of health, leave alone the jokes, the issue of health is a very serious matter. Even doctors, for the time I have been in journalism, you go to Morocco, they will never discuss the details of someone's health, the way Baryomusi is doing.
Well, he spoke as a doctor. He came out in detail and said Besigye had diarrhea and it was manic.
But he himself has told you that Besigye has a personal doctor. Why do you think he has a personal doctor? The reason you have a personal doctor, you want to be managed privately. But because Besigye is in your custody, so Baryomusi is going to discuss everything about Besigye. He is abusing his office by forcefully accessing information about Besigye. Because why should... But you're not my doctor. Even if you taught it...
No, you can't school me.
It is just unethical.
You can't school me on matters of communication.
Has nothing to do with your profession. It is unethical for any medical doctor to discuss the ailment of a patient. It is unethical. It is unethical. And you're not doing so because you're a medical doctor. It depends
on many factors.
You see,
including the typological classification of the murder day.
That's how you got. That's how you got arrested.
We are educated.
And Museveni was asking you, are you a pathologist? No. Because even if you're a doctor, you cannot be qualified in each and every ailment in Uganda.
No.
So, okay, can we put this in the context of
he has told you Besigye has a personal doctor. Why do you think he has a personal doctor?
Confidentiality.
Why don't they just...
We can discuss the subject of medical ethics if you want.
No.
Yes.
You had your time.
That's not the gist of our discussion.
It's just fair. It's just fair.
Don't do and pretend you know medical communication.
I don't have to know. You are not authorized to speak about Besigye's health.
No, I can.
This is not your duty. You can go and speak about Moz.
This is the government
You are the one who is aching.
No.
That you will be the one speaking about Besigye's health. Were you appointed to do that?
Gentlemen, I want to bring...
I was speaking for government. You see, and I can tell you my communication was effective. That's why you are even discussing it.
So what are you trying to communicate to the country?
You know. What did you hear?
May have been effective, but inappropriate. It was very inappropriate.
People were saying, Dr. Besigye is critically sick, he's dying. And I was saying, no, I clarified.
Is it your role?
Yes.
I thought it's the prisons.
Prison is the Department of Government, and I am in charge of all government communicators. Actually, they communicate with my instructions.
So
All departments
what is
have
causing all the
communicators.
hula balloon?
There's nothing.
There is no hurabaro. I am just asking Baryomusi. You are not the spokesperson of Besigye's health. You are a spokesperson of the family rule. Concentrate there. Speak about Museveni and his wife and children. Leave Besigye alone.
You know they want to tell me how to communicate.
I must tell you.
No,
even
you
when
can't.
you speak for government.
You can't. You cannot.
Thank you. I want us to move away from...
No, I need to because you gave Baryomusi a lot of time.
Yes.
Okay, in a minute.
Saying
Yes.
nothing.
Yes.
You are not saying nothing.
You see, Besigye is a prisoner. Even the prison itself has procedures. That's why, even to take him to a facility, because of the sensitivity of the matter, they have taken him to a facility. He has told you a facility of his choice. He's got to be treated by doctors of his choice.
Because he's on remand.
If they are collecting information about Besigye and they are vending it like Baryomusi is doing, I don't know which sort of government is this one. That even the basic things you can't get them right. That you go and collect information about Besigye and it becomes a subject of government communication at a press conference. Baryomusi.
Yes. Well,
Do I have to be a medical doctor to have discipline?
It's good you are not.
Well,
I mean,
thank
if
you.
you are not.
If medical doctors are like you,
Council Katana.
and maybe
And you will never
Council
be.
Katana, if you could share with us your...
Yobamuyita Semuju Ibrahim Nganda. Manyi basajja ba Museveni bano ne gavumenti yaabwe buba baagala nnyo ebintu by'okuswaza n'okola ebintu ebitali mu mateeka nga bate munankola ki. Ethics za doctor oba za medicine oba za medical bagamba tewali muntu yenna akkirizibwa kumansa byama bya mulwadde anyhow okujjako ng'omulwadde akkiriza nti kino kyekinnuma mu kigambo ensi olwoba mulwadde wa simu dotanzova n'ojja n'ogamba bannaye gundi alina siriimu bannaye gundi alina ekirwadde bwekiti tekikkirizibwa guba musango. Era Dr. Baryomusi byakola okugera ebirwadde bya Besigye musimanyi akola ki musango naggomola gumenya amateeka mu by'obusawo. Kati babikola bamayita ate munaatukola ki bwe tunaagamenya ate kamunaatukola ki ekiba kyekino n'ekibali munankola ki naye one day olunaku lujja kukya.
do I have to be a medical doctor?
Well, gentlemen,
Since you are not.
I don't have to be a
gentlemen,
medical
issues of
doctor.
doctors.
I'm now
But the way
moving
you were conducting yourself,
okay.
you cannot treat
Honorable
me.
Semuju.
No.
Honorable Semuju.
I don't
It's
have
now
to-
Katana
there are many other
speaking.
Even if you prescribe medicine, I will not
There are
take
quite a number
you
of
Baryomusi.
things trending.
The way you are behaving.
Don't be
The
emotional.
disappearance of your principal has since turned out to be interpreted as comedy by government, by the state. How serious is it? And if you could just juxtapose this with the Besigye situation, with a lot of other things happening in the aftermath of elections.
The starting point is that we are really dealing with an establishment that has lost a sense of shame, because if you start from the comments by Dr. Chris here, that clearly manifests lack of common decency, because regardless of the capacity in which he received that information, whether he received it as a doctor or as a minister, it is still abuse of privilege, because he received that information on account of his privileged position. And it is inappropriate for anybody to be in public discussing the health details of an individual. In any case, the debate was not about what Dr. Besigye is suffering from, but whether he was well or unwell. And for us who are not medical doctors, to establish that a person is unwell, first of all, is the interaction you have had with the person, but two, the physical state of the person. And I want to believe that the comments of the family were in that context, that they observed and listened to him. And that informed the opinion they gave to the public about his health.
Or they were sending false alarms that...
Is there anybody who would want to portray their family members as critical ill when they are not?
Bagambe, Katana.
I wouldn't think so.
Bewunza.
But also the circumstances under which Dr. Besigye ends up where he is. And you asked that I also try to establish nexus between that and the current state in which our leader finds himself. The siege at his home, which Dr. Besigye also endured several times. The disappearance, enforced disappearance of our leaders, the deputy presidents, the events at the home of Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi and where he finds himself now, and the number of young people on the run, in detention, they all speak to an establishment that now has chosen to use violence, to use propaganda. I always tease Dr. Chris whenever I meet him on these talk shows that the ministry he occupies, the proper designation should be Minister for Propaganda, like it was back in the day. Yeah, that is, because the government has lost legitimacy. Even if it awards itself 80% or 90%, it will still feel guilty. You know, these thieves, when they attack your home, even when you have no plans of fighting back, they must make sure that they leave you incapacitated to fight. They just want to take your phone. Instead of demanding for a phone, they hit you with a paver, because they must make sure that you are not in position to fight back. So all these factors, they continue, the manner in which Dr. Besigye was abducted, the continued incarceration, and the manner in which his case is being handled, the harassment of the NUP leaders and other opposition leaders, not necessarily NUP, they all speak to an establishment that has lost legitimacy and now is relying largely on violence to make sure that the population is under fear and unable.
Says they are not looking for Bobby Wine.
You see, Simon, when you run mad, you don't need to go to a market square and announce that you have run mad, but people will tell from how you are conducting yourself. Because if you have placed his house under siege for now I don't know how many days, you break into his house and assault his wife. You have the Chief of Defense Forces on his X handle saying, I'm going to kill this person. So, for more junior people to come out, and I've used the word deliberately, in the de facto setup of the NRM government, he's the de facto maybe number 3 now. So all these ministers, their reassurances, as long as they do not align with what he has said, or I don't think they amount to anything. So his actions are motivated by well-founded fear that he's under pursuit, and the conduct of the state clearly establishes that indeed he's under pursuit. That's why they have been giving ultimatum. They have been making ultimatum that in the next 48 hours, in the next 72. So if they are not pursuing him, why are they giving ultimatum? You have been seeing on X, they are saying if he doesn't show up within this time, the army will be asked to bring him in, dead or alive. So is that language that is used in reference to a person who is not being looked for?
Is Bobby Wine playing smarter than the state in telling where he's going, where he's been?
Ulira wetegereze ono Katana abasobola.
Taking photos, doing videos.
I don't think it is a competition of who is playing smart and who is not.
Cat and mouse.
I think that is far from the point. The point is that he's under threat. His life is in danger, just like the lives of many other people are in danger. And therefore, legitimately, he has reasons to take measures to ensure that he's not hurt that he's not like he has mentioned strategically. He says, at the time of my choosing, I will show up.
Thank you. Before I get to you, Honorable Baryomusi, the state denies that you are not looking for Bobby Wine. The CDF says he wants him. Whose word should be taken? And there was a raid. Can you explain the raid at Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi's residence?
It's all politics. The raid, I have not got a detailed briefing, but I have also followed the narrative on social media, especially the explanations by the Honorable Kyagulanyi's wife about how many 40 to 50 soldiers invaded her house, how she was assaulted, and so forth and so forth. And although I don't have details, but I have condemned what she described, if at all it happened, because it is unjustified, it's uncalled for. Being a wife of Honorable Kyagulanyi is not a crime. So, and internally we shall find out if at all there are soldiers who breached the rules. They should be handled. But again, from my explanation, I was not very much convinced that the extent she was giving is what actually happened. Like she said, they pulled me, hit me on a pole, I got injured. With my medical eyes, I could not appreciate the injuries.
It's exaggerated.
Yes, there is a sense of exaggeration. That's my own assessment.
It
would be wrong for soldiers to go
oluvannyuma lwa Baryomusi okwogera ebyo ate muhoozi n'avaayo n'abaswaza n'ekifaananyi kyajjayo n'alaga ensi bano basajja badongoala zenkubuulira.
I don't want to be distracted by that. Across the country, most of our agents were being picked. Even the coordinators who were taking them letters and resources were being arrested. But that is, I believe, a story for another day. The authoritarian regimes allocate themselves big percentages. Hosni Mubarak, I think, would make this one look like a poor score, and several others. But as long as these figures are a result of a process that has been messed up and are not a reflection of an accurate picture of what transpired at polling stations, the figures don't mean much. You can go and even swear yourself in and brag that you have got 90%.
Would there be a possibility that Kyagulanyi won?
Yes.
By what percentage?
But I've already answered that question, that at an appropriate time, the figures will be given to you. If you only want me to say figures or no figures, you can tell me to keep quiet, but I've given you an answer.
They are still counting.
That at an appropriate time, the person that is supposed to do that will make the...
You were at the tally. You were at the tally center.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you're very well addressed to whatever happened.
Was there counting at the tally center?
Did you have a parallel?
Was there counting at the tally center?
Did you have a parallel tally center?
So, if you are not versed with what transpires at the tally center, then I can share with you the information. That at the tally center, what the Electoral Commission through Byabakama was doing is announced. But because, first of all, there is even no opportunity for different candidates at that particular time and their agents. In fact, we even raised the question that what is the essence of having this occasion of inviting people to come here for just a ceremony, because there should be an opportunity for people to say that in this place, this was our score, like it happens at the district tally centers, but there's no such an opportunity. They don't speak to anybody, they come and announce what they have announced and they walk away.
So for now, what do your tallies reveal?
We will inform the country.
What is taking you forever? It's been a week.
You are not aware that at the beginning of this discussion, Simon, you have mentioned that our leader is on the run. You have mentioned that our deputy presidents are on the run. we have mentioned that our various leaders, including people that perform that responsibility, are in jail. So when we are able to make the announcement, we'll be able to do so.
So does this suggest that the party currently is in a stalemate? The leadership is in disarray?
Maybe that is, the leadership is, people are on the run, others are in jail, others every day live under fear that they are going to be picked because they receive tip-offs from different people that you're the next person to be arrested. But I can tell you that the party is not in a disarray.
Saying it is only the Banyankoles inside Noob who are not picked.
Well, but
No, I think that's below the belt.
No, there's someone was tweeting.
yeah, but no. The deputy president for Western region is missing.
She's hiding.
They were picked. There's a video of a drone and soldiers picking her. The coordinator for Ankole is in detention. So while many times I don't want to respond to certain things, but
yeah, I think that goes down as tribal.
No, but I'm sure he said it in
jest.
In jest.
No, he's quoting what he wrote.
Whoever wrote it in
okay,
in
does
jest.
this spell tough times for the National Unity Platform as
No.
used as seven starts?
Not for National Unity Platform, but tough times for Uganda. The other day, the Honorable Dongoto is not from NUP, but I saw him complaining about injustices at the 30th of his district. I have seen, when I was coming here earlier, I watched a video of people in Ntungamo complaining about fraud in their elections that led to the returning of the LC5 chairman. There are complaints from across the country. So for anybody to try to look at the crisis occasioned by voter fraud, by election fraud in the country as a noob matter, I think that person is missing the point. It is a matter that should concern all the people of Uganda, regardless of which political party they subscribe to. Even in addition to that, the violence that characterized the process, especially on polling day and the days leading to the polling day and the aftermath, the Chief of Defense Forces has come out and said 22 people have been killed, but we know from various sources that the people who have been killed in this process are more than 22 in Kayunga, in Butambara, in various parts of the country. So for anybody to come here and think that these are matters of NUP, I think it is a very, I don't want to use a very rude word, but I think it is a simplistic way of appreciating the situation. I think what is important is that as a nation, we need to come to a point where we have a discussion that can we have elections that will not lead to death of people? Can we have elections whose results will reflect the will of the people? Can we have, because elections should not
fall
be...
into his suggestion for national dialogue?
Well, that is his proposal.
Has not gotten to that level where it's time to talk?
No, we have not had that discussion as a party, but what I agree with him is that the politics of our country needs to be restructured. It needs to be restructured, that even people who whether people are in government at that particular time, because even the crisis here will not be in government forever, that even people who are outside the government, they are able to engage in this process, knowing that this is a constitutional process that we're engaging in, and by doing so, we are not committing a crime. We can choose to support a person of our choice. If he wins, well and good. If he doesn't, we shall rally behind the one who has won, but provided the process has been fair, has been just, and it's not just a matter of ticking the box that we have had elections, and then we forget about the people who have died, we forget about the money which has been wasted, we forget about the people who have been detained for committing no crime. I don't think all that has characterized our elections adds much in making Uganda a better country.
Thank you. Honorable Chris Baryomusi, what has become typical of election are murders, brutality of the state, money and everything. Could this be one election where maybe the government ought to sit back and do some soul searching about the cohesion of the country, like Odongoto comes out to say, maybe it's time now to talk?
Well, you are quick to blame the NRM, the government side, but I think it is important to audit all the political actors. When we went to multi-party, and with the emergence of Dr. Kizza Besigye forming initially reform agenda, then FDC, we saw a creation of a radicalized wing of politics. Radicalism, extremism, belligerence, defiance, a disloyal opposition with a message of hatred, an anti-Museveni agenda, and that Museveni must go, rather than focusing on ideological principles that define what the political parties want to articulate. Because if you ask, what has FDC been standing for? What does NUP stand for? It is, summary is, Museveni must go. Not, we want to reform healthcare, education, governance, wealth creation. No. It is that belligerent extremist.
Is it and what now informs government's high-handed?
Just hold on. So I think there may be weaknesses, yes, on our side, which we must internally also reform. But I think the radical wing of our politics must also tone it down. And that's why Ugandans, majority, have rejected that approach. That's why even the parties like FDC have collapsed, because when they are moderate forces, the same Jews say, no, we must be radicalized, and they chase Mujisha Muntu because he's moderate. They mean with FDC, the moderates, the Nandaras are chased, they say you are Moors, they form BFF, and you can see the party has collapsed on its own weight. The same NUP does not learn from that. It forms the party, people power, you start beating people who are putting on yellow and so forth, without articulating your vision, so that Ugandans can choose between what has NRM marketed to us, what is this party marketing to us. So that radicalism will not work. And of course, Newton's law says, to every action, there will be an equal and opposite reaction. Now, if you are a party and for you are proposing violence, you will definitely be 100. It is a fire which is used to handle fire. Now, when people
you're justifying violence, right?
Hold on. In 2018...
No. Are you justifying state violence?
Just wait. Let me justify by explaining. In 2018, when the Katanas wanted to ban Kampala by beating whoever is putting on yellow, by unaddressing women who are putting on innocent yellow blouses on the streets of Kampala, all of us were here. Did you want the army and security forces to put a red carpet for people, power goons, who are beating people? They had to come in to quell that kind of violence. So I think it takes two to tango. We should all tone it down and say we want a better Uganda. We may be using different approaches to reach there, but we can sit and tone. Now, two.
What would it take for government to extend an olive branch in the name of national peace and
yes. Before I answer that, I thought to make a comment that when I was arrested, as Simuju said, somebody rang me from Parliament and said they are going to arrest you. Please go into hiding. That time in 2012, I said, okay, I will go where I'm going, let them arrest me. And they arrested me. So for Kyagulanyi, even if somebody had said, I want to kill you, if I was him, me, Baryomusi, I would say, come and kill me. And you come and kill. Oh, if CDF said, I want to arrest you, he said, you come and arrest me. But to go into hiding, for us, Bachiga, it's a sign of cowardice. You cannot tell your voters, we demand our vote, then you go and hide. And you want my children to go on the street to confront security when you have hidden your own children. Where are Kyagulanyi's children? Why are they not rallying our children to go and demand the vote? You hide them, you go in the bush. No, you hide your children. You hide your children. You hide your children. Then you say our children should go and demand the vote. That is a cowardice, and I don't think it gives him a score. Now, NRM is the most tolerant organization we can have, what we have had. President Yoweri Museveni, some of us who work with him, he has a very large magnanimous heart. He is a person who doesn't believe in pursuing and killing those who do not agree with him. Actually, his approach, he extends a hand until when he persuades you to work with him. Now, you look at the history. Every time we come out of elections, at the time I think it was 2011 or 2006, when he emerged the winner and said, all the presidential candidates who participated, let's meet over a cup of tea and discuss. Others went, is Dr. Message who refused, said, how can you invite me for a cup of tea? I mean, if a candidate has said, let's sit, what is the issue? We are all leaders, we want to lead the country.
In a disputed election.
Yes, but if you are talking of reconciliation, everybody must tone down. Of course, there are tensions and anxieties after elections. But if you mean well for a country, even if you have been my opponent, when I meet my opponent in the Kanunga elections, I can't slap him. We take a cup of tea.
You have no capacity, otherwise.
No. So, the president has been on record, for instance, going to IPOD. IPOD is a forum which brings together political parties that are represented in parliament. It is these radicalized wings of opposition that have refused to come there when the president is there. The president has never refused. Even the proposal by Honorable Dongoto, I have no problem with it. And I think and believe President Museveni can forgive Message if there are efforts. And you have challenged me to tell the president in the cabinet. I may not raise the cabinet, but I will speak to him over the issue. But you see, it will take also...
So it takes pleading for
No, first of all...
So it is Museveni now to release Message.
No, by the way, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't even think the president has powers sign an order to release a prisoner on remand. It will require the state just dropping the charges, but that can be worked out. But you see, to also take Dr. Message to tone it down so that there is a meeting of hearts. If you want us to take that effort, we can. I can tell you when I...
Kale, ebyo bibasajja bammwe betulina bali mu gavumenti yammwe era beewulira eryanyi beewulira nti batalo beyita bakatonda kati ti bo balina okukola buli kimu tewali abagambako tewali akola atya bo be bannaggwano bakuno naye Baryomusi muwanewane Museveni mumutendetende mumusuutesuute naye mumuwaanawaana nga mumukozesa ensobi mujja muyita kadduwanne manga agudde ennimiro y'ekigulu temuyinza kuddamu kuzanyira mu bulamu bw'abantu ne mutabusi ne mukola biki ne mukola ebyammwe kubanga mumuyita bannaggwano Kyagulanyi kyaleko mumuntu Kyagulanyi kirina kye tumwetaaza ate amagye gakola kyewuwe lwaki tegavaawo Kyagulanyi abuze yekka ate oli omutabani agamba ayagala kumujja ku mutwe amwagala mulamu oba mufu agamba mmwe bakale katulinde olunaku kugenda kukya Uganda Munnayuganda yeddiza obuyinza bwe gavumenti y'ababbi y'abatemu y'abayeekera eveewo buli maaso okufuna eddembe n'essanyu mulamu.